Hi, this is a review of CD by a guy called Nate Lewis. It's called Violencia. Violencia is the French word for the violence, but it also is the name given to a period of civil war in Colombia from 1948 to 1960, so it could refer to either of those things. I guess it's up to your interpretation. I describe this CD as classical music with an electronic twist, but I don't listen and know that much about classical music, so my point of reference is quite narrow, so you have to bear with me as I stumble through this review attempting to describe the epicness that is this CD. What I think is quite awesome is each track has its own feel to it. Like this one sort of has this quite rock feel to it, has this cool like guitar intro. This other has this lovely string introduction. It's actually my favorite track on the CD. So yeah, they all have their own character and feel to them. I'll put some links in the description. I'll put a link to his MySpace so you can listen to some of his stuff. I'll put a link to his Twitter so you can find out what he's doing. And I'll put a link to some more of his videos on YouTube so you can listen to some of the stuff that's not on his MySpace, which is equally epic. I found Nate's stuff a while back on Amy Street. The first song I heard was Never Tired Enough, and that's actually remained my favourite song by him. But so I found him on there, found him on YouTube after that, and then we've had this sort of on and off contact since, which has been quite awesome because he's a really nice guy. But what I think is great about the CD is it really showcases his musicality. Like what I find with some electronica is it'll sound cool, and there's all these sort of awesome samples and things being played at you. It's like bja bja, and you're like, wow, that's cool. I haven't heard that before. But then you think, hang on, it doesn't really fit with the rest of the CD. It doesn't fit with the song or the track at all. But on this CD, there's this sort of constant quality of melody. It's like this sort of melodic jelly that you can just sort of shake and it'll all stay together in this prism of awesome. So I think that's quite refreshing because it's nice because it gives the CD it makes the production quality just seem a notch above most independently done stuff. B, you can tell that the guy actually has some musical talent as opposed to just possessing GarageBand and some audio editing software. And C, it means that everything that's in a track is actually important. There's no sort of just filler or bump that's just put in there because it sounds quite cool. But the blend of electronica with the classical sort of instruments and elements, as well as the interchange between Nate's and his friend, whose name I'm about to try and pronounce, but I'm going to fail at, and I severely apologize to you for mispronouncing your name, but she's called Dzung. She's not called that. She's really not called that. But the interchange between Nate's and her vocals make for some really interesting melodies on the CD. They sort of play off each other really well, and you can tell they have this great relationship. But anyway, for me there are three standout tracks on the CD: Never Tired Enough, Cosmos, and Borderline. The original recording of Cosmos can be found on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description, and the acoustic version and the two other tracks can be found in his MySpace. Now on Never Tired Enough, the play of between the classical elements and the electronica make it my favourite track. It reminds me of sort of what Enter Shikari set out to do, but failed. They took these sort of two different genres and tried to blend them, but what they did is just put them on top of each other, whereas this sort of squishes them down until you can't really take them apart anymore. And it becomes this sort of hybrid, and it's lovely. There's this really, really nice bit that starts at about 1:30, where there's these two different string elements that are being played in counterpoint of each other, and it's just got this lovely melody, and then some other sounds are added on top, and it really shows that this guy can write top-notch stuff. And there's lovely bits in each track that you'll find on the CD. There's just these nice little moments in each song. The next track that I really like is Cosmos. The vocals have this sort of ethereal quality to them. It makes it really emotive, and it really sort of fits with the lyrics. It's about this sort of tragic love. It's there's this one lyric on it: I was left in the arms of hopeless love, and it's for me that's sort of heartbreaking, because what I find with most love songs is there's this sort of I find myself in this void in the middle, and to my left there's like sort of Tinchy Strider with Take Me Back. He's like, take me back, girl, take me back, please. And then to my right there's like sort of Shakespeare's cousins and brothers, who are like, thou'st faced of lover is in my window daily. And I don't really connect with either of them, but this I can relate to, and because I know that feeling that it's describing, and it's just, like, it's so heartbreaking. Like, the acoustic version of the song actually made me tear up a little bit. Yes, we won't even go there. But oh dear, a big alarm just came up on my computer. Anyway, the next track I like is Borderline. It features Ryan Kingsmith, apparently. I'm not sure what role he did, but he was mentioned on the MySpace version of the track, so I should give credit to him as well. So good job, Ryan. The reason this track sticks out for me is because of the contrast of the auto-tune style vocals and the sort of intricacies of the support track. It's like got this sort of, well, not bland, but relatively flat vocals, but then the support track, the backing track behind it, is like full of sort of these intricate melodies and like up pitches and low pitches, and it's sort of like this sort of bubbly soundscape. Like there's the piano track with these other things layered on top, and it creates this sort of like light but fascinating backdrop for vocals. So anyway, I've talked enough. Well, I haven't really to express how much I like the CD. I've been listening to it quite a lot since I got it, and that was like 3/4 of a year ago now. So I'd highly recommend for those that enjoy pop music but like it with a bit more substance, like Beyond, Party in the USA, and that general drivel. So this CD can be bought on iTunes, and a few of his tracks will be up for download on his MySpace shortly, I believe. I hope I'm right. Thanks for listening, and those are my thoughts on Violencia. Gonna try and figure out how to stop this now.